Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. So my thing with Nylander, I just looked it up as well. So they're looking at Chicago, the Islanders, the Devils, and Colorado. So
I,
you
I,
know,
I think
I'm a
I think like the rumor I got wasn't it was Chicago. It wasn't anyone else.
there's nobody on Chicago I want other than the new kid. I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, they stripped it down barren so they could get the number one pick. And there's not a defenseman to be had on that team that I'd want. I don't want the Jones brothers. I have a lot of respect for them, but they're old. They're not as good as Nylander, and they don't have a sniper.
Who are some of their picks this year after Bedard?
Oh,
Didn't they
you know,
say someone real good first?
I think so, and I that might be the player that's injured because they have a high pick that's out injured for months. I think you hurt his knee or his shoulder,
Oh,
but there's nobody there that I'd want, and fuck that. I want to win the cup this year. I don't want to build for the future. Fuck, how much future do we have?
yeah.
Um, like you have it's very similar with Boston and a couple of other teams that Tampa comes to mind. They load up for a run. That's what the Leafs have done. But we talked about this a couple of days ago, instead of loading up at the deadline, Brad loaded up now. Fuck that. He's doing it now. Let him do it. My biggest thing is, I mean, uh, it's the money. Just give the guy the money. He wants 10. You're willing to go 9. Will you split the difference for Christ's sakes? Can you split it in half? Can you go 9.5? Do you got to have that fucking 10? And if so, then one of the D's got to go.
If
The D is,
if the rumors are right, something's happened to give Tree Living the feeling that
that he,
something needs to be done now. Now, if nothing happens, that also tells you that he thinks, well, shit, we got enough depth to win now. So I just
yep,
got to get XYZ for that to go over the top.
yep.
So we're going
Well,
to
here's the
find
other
out.
thing.
We'll find out.
Yep. Well, here's the other thing is that you leave him alone and you let him play the year. And Bertuzzi and Domi price themselves out of Toronto. And that could happen. But I don't care if they price themselves out of Toronto if you have a banner. If you don't have a banner, then what the fuck are we doing? I mean, George Steinbrenner, there's a meme, but he said this. If you're not here to win, then what the fuck are you here for?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't want to build. Ooh, we're getting stronger. No, fuck that. I want to win today. I want to win now. And the bottom line is that you got to keep them. If you're squabbling over $1 million, find the $1 million, squeeze it somewhere. If you have like a little wink and a promise that, okay, we're gonna give you the 10, we can't give it to you now, but we can give it to you after the season. I'm sure they could do that. They could sign an extension, leave the money alone this year, but hammer it to them next year. Maybe that sends a message to Domi and to Bertuzzi. Hey, they're handing out money. Let me light my balls on fire a little hotter and dig down a little deeper and win. So they got to pay me too, or I'm going to get paid
I think
somewhere.
Bertuzzi is
Yeah.
he's gonna sign.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bertuzzi would. I don't know how much they would sign for, but he's not going to go from what he's making now to 10. He might go to 7, maybe
He's
8.
playing with Matthews. You know what? Shut up and play, kid.
Oh yeah. Yep. He's
You'll
not
make
going
your
anywhere.
money.
He'll make his money. But that's the whole thing. Is that you gotta. We're here to win. So you asked me who else I would take. Colorado's not going to trade Makar. They're not going to trade McKinnon. So there's nobody on that team that I'd want. Maybe Toes, But I love mispronouncing names on purpose, by the way. Some people have written in and said, "You're juggling the names." No, I'm not. I love to mispronounce names. Let them figure it out who the hell I'm talking about. But I don't want him either. I mean, Lou got rid of him. What does that tell you? There's something amiss. He's playing over his head in Colorado. I don't want anybody that plays over their head coming to Toronto. We never thought he would be this good. He's not going to be that good in Toronto. And Peryanko or Colton Peryanko, I would take him, but for what? I mean, for Nylander? No. And it makes no sense to take Brody and Nylander out. Like, it's either one or the other. You're either getting rid of Brody so you can pay the man, or you're not. There's nobody on New Jersey that I want. The defense is a little young. They're not trading Hughes. They're not. I don't want Hurdle. I don't want any of their goalies. New Jersey is the whole team with the goalies. They've.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if, first off, if they were to do this, it'll be to the West, and it'll never ever be to the East.
Nope.
And it would only be.
You're right.
It would only be because they feel they have solid enough depth in camp.
Yeah. My issue with depth is somebody's always going to get hurt. Somebody's going to go down. It happens every year on every team. The Leafs have been lucky to a certain degree. I mean, they had a little bit with Matthews last year with the wrist. Riley went down and Sandin stepped in and played well. And he played so well, they traded him. But that's the whole thing, is that they've got young D. They've got young goaltenders that are coming up. If I'm going to mortgage the future, I don't want to be trading away a stud. The guy's the only one that. I mean, where the hell was Marner last year in the playoffs? I don't know. I mean, the only thing I remember.
He was in the exact same place he was in the first year's playoffs.
Yeah, you still there, Dave?
Yeah, he was watching.
He's looking at the fucking tablet, wondering what the fuck he did wrong, and then laughing when Tkachuk punched him in the face. He should have punched him back.
Yeah.
I understand. They're line mates in London. I don't give a shit. Do something. They've done nothing. It drives me nuts. The Leafs are the only team that will drive you absolutely nuts. And it's probably because I'm a fan. Obviously, everybody's team drives them crazy. But, like, are you kidding me? You're here to win. My other thing with Nylander is they're jerking him around. They're putting him at center. It increases value. No, it's not. Put the man where he belongs, where he's been successful. Why are you moving him around? JT has 2 more years on the contract. If you buy him out, you're not going to be able to re-sign him for half the money or anything like that. And he scored 35 goals last year. And I don't care about the captaincy. You can't trade your captain. Yeah, you can. You can always trade your captain. Messier's been traded. Gretzky's been traded. Yeah, of course. But my thing is, if you're going to buy him out, then go that route. But, that's only because Domi, is ready for the number 2 role, or the draft pick this year is ready for a number 2 or a number 3. And, that's it. I mean, you got to do something. I wouldn't be deleting if you're trying to get to the top. So
yeah, I knew that would get you going. I'm gonna end you off with this. On this day, 1983, Steve Yzerman scored his first goal of his over 600 career goals.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have another this date in history as well.
83.
You ready for this?
Jesus.
Yeah. So I remember when Yzerman was on the block, he was going to go to Ottawa. Remember that?
Yeah.
They were going to trade him in 92 or something like that. And this is coming. He could have been a Hartford Whaler. But instead, the Whalers took Sylvain Turgeon. You've got to be kidding me. They could have had LaFontaine. They could have had Yzerman, and they took Sylvain Turgeon. And I believe the number one pick that year was Brian Lawton. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Lawton or Bellows. It was one of the two. Or no, that was a different draft. It wasn't Bellows, because Bellows and Kluzak were the trade with oh gosh, it was just on the tip of my tongue. Brian somebody was a defenseman. They had to make sure that one didn't pick the other. It was so stupid. And Kluzak sucked, and I loved it when he got punched. But I'll give you another date in history. On this date in 2007, do you know what happened? It was a very famous baseball situation. Do you remember?
Don't tell me Bill Buckner.
No, that was 86. And I know this will get you going. It was the Cleveland River Midges. They came out of the river, and they're like locusts. They're like bugs, and they're gnats, and there's millions of them.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And here's the best part. This is the best fucking part. Torrey thought about pulling the team off the field. He didn't. And Jabba Chamberlain was on the mound, and he was balking. He was balking runners around the bases because he kept swinging and swatting the flies away. So Joe Torre called for Gene Monahan to spray the players with bug spray. And the Cleveland dugout went into their clubhouse looking for the bug spray. And a local a local meteorologist from Cleveland called the press box, and they called the dugout. And I think it was Mike Hargrove was managing the Indians. And he said, don't spray any of your players with the bug spray. Don't even go near it. Don't pick up a can. Don't touch anything with bug spray. Don't put your arm around the Yankees because you might get it on your clothes. And they said, why? And they said, they're attracted to lights and they're attracted to bug spray. How about that? Fucking pissed. And it cost the Yankees it cost them that series. Was the midges. And Joe Torre didn't have the balls to pull him off the field. And I believe he lost his job like a week or two later. I was so pissed. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me. But yeah, I'll never forget the midges. Sons of midges, I called them.
All right, so next week, what do we got?
So next week, opening night is Wednesday. The Leafs open up on Thursday. I think we talked enough about the Leafs, thank God. Although if Willie Nee is traded, we're going to have to do something. So I know you're busy tomorrow, and we can always do something over the weekend and give the fans what they want. We still have to do the Western Conference. Anaheim's last. I know that for a fact. And Edmonton and Colorado and my sleeper team, Minnesota, could be number 1 or number 2 in the West. But we'll definitely do something, and it'll be great, of course. Dave, I want to thank you for stepping into Chef's Kitchen tonight, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
All right, Chef.
Ciao.